Well, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you returning, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, hello, my name is Erica. I'm a homeschooling homemaking mama of 5. So this was filmed on a Saturday and we were getting ready to go out for the day, but my kitchen was a mess and I was like, you know what? I got about an hour, so I'm going to do some cleaning in here. And what I did was I set, I think, a 30-minute timer and just cleaned up my kitchen the best I could. So when we got home, it wasn't that bad. We went and spent a wonderful day out just driving around and visiting some historical spots. So it was a real nice day. But I cannot stand coming home to a messy kitchen. And what had happened was my kids have done real well to keep the kitchen clean, like while I'm at work. But the problem's me. I am terrible when I cook or really do anything. When I'm home by myself, well, not by myself, when I'm home and I don't have anywhere to go, I'm just messy. And I think what it is I have in the back of my mind, like, oh, well, I've got all day. I'll get to it. Instead of, well, why don't you clean as you go, Erica? So that way you don't have to spend a whole entire morning cleaning up. Even though I know that I still do it. So I do recognize that it would be much easier to clean as I go along. But, baby steps is what I keep saying. This is, again, another chore that my kids normally do. But like I said, I was cleaning the kitchen and they had other stuff they were doing. So I went ahead and unloaded it. And, it doesn't bother me. It's definitely not as much of a chore to do now that they help out so much around the house. So I always think I enjoy cleaning until I'm cleaning. And then I think what it is I don't like cleaning. I just like the idea of liking cleaning, if that makes any sense to anyone out there. Like, I guess I wish that I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I don't. So there's sometimes I'll get into cleaning it, like my sink. I do enjoy shining it out sometimes, but then again, I guess I get frustrated because I know it won't stay that way. So yeah, if y'all can hear Joe in the background, he is doing his Duolingo, or his ABC lingo. It's this cute little app to help him learn how to read. Yes, that is a bottle of Easy Bleach in my sink. I don't know why I put it in there. I do stuff like this all the time, and my husband comes back and says, what were you even thinking? And to be honest, I don't know, and I realize how unusual that is. We can blame it on my ADHD. I guess that's what it's from. I do that, like I said, I do that stuff all the time. Like, if y'all saw my last video, the saucer and the coffee cup that I put in my bathroom, didn't eat it in there, didn't drink it in there. I just carried it from the living room to my bathroom and set it down, and I don't know what I was distracted by. So yeah. Well, anyways, y'all can see here, I'm just rinsing the dishes off to load up in the sink. I always pre-wash my dishes, or rinse them, or whatever you want to call it. And then I do wash several things by hand. As y'all can see, I don't use a sponge. I will use a scrubber from time to time. But yeah, I like to use my hands because I don't like using a cloth, and I don't do well to keep my sponges clean. So now those scrubbers that you see, I do run those through the dishwasher. I also run my Scrub Daddies through the dishwasher as well. So they get cleaned regularly. But again, I'm still not comfortable with the sponges. I guess you could run them through the dishwasher. I used to microwave mine, and then I would also spray bleach in them and then let them soak. I don't use bleach near as much as I used to, which I don't know. I feel like I don't need it as much. Bleach is one of those things I use for when it's really gross, or we're sick or whatnot. So I do like to use it. Like I said, it's not a daily cleaner for me. So this countertop has become a catch-all, and I do well to keep it not to keep it clear, but to clear it off. But then the stuff comes right back, and usually it's me putting stuff up there. I don't know why I do it. I can't stand it. And I've got a little charging station for my 15-year-old cell phones. We don't let them keep their cell phones in their bedrooms at night. They have to come in here. Also, if you guys don't know, my kids don't have internet access either. They're allowed a limited amount of YouTube time in the evening, like supervised and stuff. But for the most part, no. We feel like when they're 16, that's an appropriate age for that, and they'll both have part-time jobs and stuff and everything, so they can pay for their own cell phones and that stuff then. But anyway, in case y'all were wondering, those Gab phones are wonderful. They're cell phones that have calling. You can call and you can text, but there's no apps, there's no internet, there's nothing like that. So as this video progresses, it would appear that it's not just my counter that's a giant catch-all. I guess my table is too, so maybe we'll just say my whole house is a giant catch-all. But would your house be able to catch itself, I guess? So, but anyway, we have a lot of homeschool stuff on here. There's a lot of crafts in here. I had cleared something out, and that's what had kind of scattered all over it too. So I'm just tidying up the mess. I cannot wait to get rid of this centerpiece. I have done terrible with it. This is exactly how I knew it was going to end up. I don't know if that's maybe it wouldn't have had I not given myself a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I'm terrible with centerpieces. And this just looks like, literally when I'm done with it, it looks like there's just still a mess in the center. So I'm going to be doing a Christmas decorate video. That's what I'll be working on tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be out Monday, and we'll see what new mess I put on the middle of my table. I do a little bit better with Christmas centerpieces, but this year I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Honestly, each year I forget what decorative pieces I have, so we'll just y'all are going to be just as surprised as I am, because I'm not quite sure what I've got in my back room. So I used to start decorating for Christmas on Thanksgiving night. Like, I know that sounds like a weird time, but it was like tradition to set up the tree Thanksgiving evening. But last year I set it up really early, like way before Thanksgiving. I want to say it may have been just a couple days after Halloween. So I'm, even though I hadn't really planned on doing it too early, I hadn't really even given it too much thought about doing a decorate with me video. But I guess as, being here on YouTube, I kind of need to. So, well, I don't need to, but it, I think I should. And I've gotten kind of in the mood to anyway, after watching a lot of other YouTubers, put their Christmas videos out. So I went and bought a tree yesterday, and oh my goodness, y'all, I cannot believe the prices of Christmas trees. I ended up at Walmart. I was going to order one off of Amazon, but I'm glad I didn't, because after looking at the different trees at Walmart, I realized I needed to see them in person. And the tree I really wanted was like $500, and I could not believe that. I was like, this is absolutely, I don't know, it was just astonishing to me that trees are that expensive. So the tree that I have used for the last 17 years, my first mother-in-law had bought me from Hobby Lobby after the season was over. So she got a phenomenal deal. But I did not realize what a phenomenal deal it was, like I said, until I went shopping for trees. But the one I got, I'm very pleased with, so I'm excited to show you guys that on Monday. As you can see here, I'm just kind of cleaning up my stove. This was the last thing I did, and it caught me off guard because I normally clean my stove first. I don't know why I went to the table and switched my order up, but anyway, it all got done. I did make it back here to the homeschool room. I think this was the next day. I set a timer for about 30 minutes, I think. I did a different time. I couldn't remember what it was. So, again, like I've been saying, I know this sounds like a broken record. I keep asking myself, what am I doing different this time? What are the steps I'm taking that I'm going to keep this from happening again? And even though I don't mean to be taking so much time with this declutter, it's really helping, because before I would rush and do a project and do this extreme transformation all in one day, and I never really went through the emotions. I never really thought about what I was getting rid of. Like, I just got rid of what felt right in the moment, and then eventually I would regret it, or that rush would wear off of, being so excited from doing so much stuff all at once. But I guess maybe I'd overwhelm myself. So this time because I do work now, I can't go through it like I want to. So even if I did want to do it all at once, I couldn't. But I'm noticing that like when I stop, like I come in here, I work for 20 minutes and then I leave and then I come back the next day. It's like I reset my brain and I'm able to look at it again each time with fresh eyes, and I'm able to get rid of more stuff. And then there's also some things that I'm like, you probably really shouldn't get rid of that. You should keep that. But I feel like I'm able to tell a more realistic difference, or be able to really just decipher what I should keep and what I shouldn't keep. There's a lot of papers in here that I finally got rid of. A lot of blankets, a lot of clothes. I have sheets galore that I don't use, that we haven't used. I got rid of a couple blankets because I've got so many. I said blankets like twice, but y'all got the point. I had a lot of blankets. So I am going to keep, I thought about getting rid of the suitcases and the bags and all that, but I'm like, we need those. That's like been one of my biggest problems with decluttering, is like I'll get rid of huge pieces just for the sake of space. And then I end up having to go repurchase them, or I end up feeling like I need to like refill the space or something. Like I don't give the things enough thought. And only because I think what it is in the moment, I'm like, oh, these are materialistic items. You're giving them way too much thought. You need to get rid of them. I'm like, no, I really need to sort through these, whatever, emotions and thoughts and all that are going behind these purchases that I make in the first place. Why I feel like I need this much stuff to begin with, so I don't have to go through everything again, and anyway, I'm finally starting to accept that I don't have the personality that can just get rid of stuff and tell myself, okay, you're not buying anymore, you're done. Like, I don't have that personality. I want to have that personality, but I don't. I've got to go through the emotions. I've got to go through all the feelings. I have got to figure out why I keep buying stuff, and, why I'm feeling whatever hole this is that, I feel like stuff is what's going to make it feel better. So, I've got to quit doing that, and taking time is the only way to do that. And again, like I've said before, patience is not something that I'm great with. I am always all right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and, get the healing process, on the way with. And this is not a short healing process. It took me 39 years. I remembered my age this time, y'all. It took me 39 years to make this mess. Obviously, I'm not meaning literally literally and figuratively. So, it's going to take a little bit of time to get out of it too. But I'm really happy. Like, this is not some fantastic transformation, but for me, this is a big transformation. And I'll tell you why, because those spaces right there, they're not filled with an organizational piece. They're just empty. And I want more empty spaces. And that's what I'm showing you guys here, is that, this is all my stuff that I'm getting rid of and finding a new home. There wasn't a bigger mess in the back. Okay, here we are back in Joe's room. Here's his little dance. He's being silly for y'all. I don't know what to do with it. I know I say that in every video. This week, which granted it's only been 4 days, I have made him clean up his room every night before bed. And we have put a new rule into place. Now, again, this has only been 4 days, but he is not allowed to take his toys out of his room anymore. His room is way too messy. Stuff keeps spilling out. And frankly, when I go to tell him to pick up his stuff, I'm getting a lot of slack from him. So it's not that it's necessarily a punishment, but until he can learn to take care of his own space, he is not going to bring it out into, the public space of the house. So y'all have seen me clean this room a bazillion times, and it's almost like, it's just to be expected that this room's going to be messy. So this week, this is day 4. What we've tried is each evening, we've just made Joe clean up his toys before he goes to bed. And then we've also said that, there's no more toys coming out of your bedroom. You have to play with your toys in your room. He keeps taking them out and dragging them all over the house. And while, kids are kids and they should be able to play with their toys and stuff, when it comes to him picking them back up. We're having a lot of slack from them, and so that's just kids being kids. So finally, I told him, I was like, Joe, until you can learn to keep your room clean and keep your toys organized, or as organized as much of a 5-year-old can, they have to stay in your room. I was like, I don't want any more toys out of the bedroom because you've got to learn to keep your space clean. So it's been a little bit of a struggle getting him to clean his room at night, but he's done real well to keep his toys in his room. So it's not necessarily a punishment, although I mean it is a result of him not keeping it clean in the main part of the house. And again, it wasn't even so much the mess, it was just the fact that he, when it was time to clean it up, he did, what any other 5-year-old would do. I don't want to, no, and that type of stuff. So this was my solution. And really, it's going to be up to me, because I know the first week is going to be a little bit of a struggle, but he'll eventually do it as long as I, be like, hey, it's time to clean up your toys. So after this week, it's going to be up to me to make sure we continue the habit. And hopefully it'll get easier as it goes along. And ideally, it would be at the point where I don't have to tell him, but, that's the whole point of having kids, not having kids, but, being a kid is, you need a parent to kind of guide you along. So I will just keep guiding along. But that's been my plan for how we're going to keep this room clean this time. So we did sort through some toys. I got rid of a grocery bag worth of stuff. His room, he doesn't have a lot of toys, or at least I don't feel like he does. His closet has one of those like little bins, but there's not a lot in it. And then he has this one plastic tote that y'all saw me put the bigger toys in. And that's it. So we actually just got rid of a ton of toys off the porch in my last video. And then we cleared out our shed, which there were some toys in there, but he doesn't play with any of those. So what you see here in his room, that is it. For me, that's not a lot. For y'all, that might just be like the most toys you've ever seen, but no one's the same, right? So we're working with what we've got. But anyway, I did not want to bring that tote in here, but I thought it might be a solution for, he likes to build little forts around his bigger toys. Like he'll have one big centerpiece, and then he'll have like a whole little colony and a village around it. Not exactly that, but that's kind of how he plays. So I thought maybe if he had a home for the bigger stuff, it would seem easier to put the little stuff in. I don't know. We do still have that bucket that I kicked, and then the Lincoln log, and those are just full of random toys that need to go into the bin. And I'll be honest, you don't see that in this video because it didn't happen. And here I am just trying to kind of put his bed back together. He has been sleeping in his bed this week. So that's been a plus too. So we're just a whole week of new things for him. He did commandeer my pregnancy pillow, but you know what? He likes to snuggle up in it, and it seems to help him stay in here. And my neck was starting to hurt on it anyway, so we'll just try it out in here for a little bit. Joe had not slept in his bed up until this point of this video being filmed. He had started sleeping in it that night. Just so y'all, in case you were wondering if he had slept in the bed being that messy, no, he did not. I'm not going to lie and say he never has slept in a bed like that before, just because, we had a rough day or we didn't get to it. But in this case, no. But, while I'm on the subject, I've been thinking about, like, I've noticed kind of, like, if somebody has an area of their life kind of together, or, it seems like it's in place, like, it feels like we're almost encouraged to not talk about the places that we're doing well. I'm thinking specifically of people talking about staged messes. And to me, that is such a funny concept. And I almost think it's kind of neat. It's not neat to trick people. It's never good to trick people. You shouldn't stage a mess. But I mean, like, if you are at that point in your life that you have to stage a mess, or that someone thinks your house is staged, like, that's kind of a huge compliment, I think. Like, I can't imagine having to fake a mess. Like, to me, that idea is like, just like, that's an imaginary la la unicorn land. Like, I don't know how to keep my house clean. Like, it'd be fantastic if people thought I staged my messes. Like, I would just be complimented. I wouldn't even be insulted. But I'm just thinking, we should celebrate the areas that we're doing well in, and help encourage somebody that's maybe not doing so well in that area. Because I know there's a ton of areas in my life that I am not doing very well in, and I could definitely use the encouragement and the support of someone who has it a little bit more together in that particular area than I do. But I don't know, it was just a funny thought I was thinking about. I hope that came out the way I meant to. But in a minute, you're going to see Mason come in here, and he is going to move this dresser out of here and switch it in with one from his room. But I didn't get any footage of that, and why, I don't know. So expect a Christmas decorate clean with me. We'll see what kind of video on Monday. It'll definitely be Christmas themed. So we'll have that coming. And here's my sweet May moving this out. And again, I apologize that I didn't have more footage and that this is just kind of going to end just like that. But I hope wherever y'all are at, you are having a blessed one. And I can't thank you guys enough for watching my videos. It means the world to me. And I will see you guys on Monday. Bye.